What if I told you the future of Greenland, NATO unity, and even global security just got tangled up with the Nobel Peace Prize? Or as the American politicians say, the Nobel Peace Prize? Because that's exactly what happened this week. Donald Trump has now linked his demand for U.S. control over Greenland to not receiving the Nobel Peace Prize. The fallout is shaking Europe, NATO, and Canada's Arctic interests. This isn't a joke. I wish it was. This isn't a headline grab. It's a geopolitical pressure campaign playing out in real time. I often get the comment, why are you laughing while you're doing these really serious videos? It's because of the irony. It's because of how ridiculous all of this is. I'm not laughing at this. Well, anyway. I'm Pierre Shields. This is North America. Let's dive in. Context. According to reporting, Trump sent a message directly to Norway's Prime Minister, Jonas Gahr Store, expressing frustration that he was not awarded the Nobel Peace Prize last year. This is bonkers. He blamed Norway, despite the fact that the Nobel Committee is independent, and that pivoted to something far more serious. In that same message, Trump insisted the United States needs complete and total control of Greenland. When asked if he would use force to get it, his response was simple. He said no comment. Greenland, for those unfamiliar, who's unfamiliar, is a semi-autonomous territory of Denmark, and Denmark is a NATO ally. That makes this unprecedented. There's never been a military conflict between NATO members since the alliance was formed in 1949. I hope you're proud, White House. But now, Trump is openly questioning Denmark's right to Greenland and tying it to U.S. security interests. Analysis. Trump's argument rests on three main claims. First, that Greenland is strategically vital for missile defense, Arctic surveillance, and control of northern shipping routes. Second, that Denmark is incapable of defending it from Russia or China. And third, that the United States has done more for NATO than anyone else and therefore deserves something in return. Wow, that one is absolutely mind-blowing. Mind-blowing. He even went as far as to question Denmark's historical claim to Greenland, saying that the US had just as much right because boats landed there too. Again, this is crazy. That rhetoric has alarmed European leaders, I guess. Germany, France, Norway, Sweden, and Finland have already sent small military contingents to Greenland in what's being described as a symbolic show of unity. Denmark has warned that any US attempt to seize Greenland would effectively destroy NATO. And it would. And then came the economic pressure. Trump announced new tariffs, 10% on goods from 8 NATO allies, and threatened to raise them to 25% if countries oppose the Greenland move. It's crazy, and at the same time, we're getting criticized by US politicians for working with China. Wow. That includes allies like the UK. This is coercion, not diplomacy. Real impact on Canadians. So where does Canada fit in all of this? Right in the middle. Greenland sits directly across from Canada's Arctic territory. Any shift in control there affects Arctic security, NORAD operations, shipping lanes, missile early warning systems, and Canadian sovereignty in the north. Canada spent years talking about Arctic security without properly funding it. Now, suddenly the world is paying attention to the Arctic, and Canada risks being sidelined. If NATO fractures, Canada loses its strongest security umbrella. If the US unilaterally reshapes Arctic control, Canada's strategic autonomy shrinks. And if great power politics move north, the Arctic becomes the next geopolitical flashpoint. This isn't about Trump's ego. It's a little bit about Trump's ego. It's mostly about power, territory, and who controls the future of the Arctic. Takeaway. Here's the bottom line. Greenland isn't a joke, the Arctic isn't a theoretical, and NATO unity is no longer guaranteed. Trump tying Greenland to the Nobel Prize may sound absurd, because it is, but the consequences are very real. Canada needs to wake up, define its Arctic strategy, and decide whether it wants to be a serious northern power or just a spectator while others decide our future. If you want clear Canada First analysis without the spin, subscribe to North America, like and share if you value facts over narratives, and comment below, should Canada take a stronger role in Arctic defense? Thanks for spending time with me. I'm Pierre Shields. Go play outside.